Good evening, people of Earth. It's nice to be in your company once again. I have decided to do something new today. It's something I've been planning on doing for quite some time, but I've been reluctant to get started with it for several reasons, and I'll explain that later. So what I'm going to do is go through some of my Russian notes as I have picked up from where I left off after school. I am not a native Russian speaker by any stretch of the word. I am not even a fluent Russian speaker. I took 3 levels in college, and I've studied other languages as well. And I'll probably make some videos on those depending on how this one turns out. So I'm going to just do something real basic. One of the reasons I was reluctant to get started on this project is because it's not necessarily an instructional video for toddlers or beginners or whatever. I'm not gonna go through and teach the alphabet and how to pronounce the different sounds and letters, and I'm not gonna go to the elementary level. I'm gonna pick up right where I left off, because this is actually going to be a document of where I'm at in my studies, and I'm really kind of doing it for myself. And under normal circumstances, I would typically maybe upload this to YouTube and then set it for private so that only I could hear it. And I thought about doing that all along with all of my videos, because some of them are kind of cringe, but it's really there for anybody who can get something out of it. And so I'm gonna post it up anyway, and I would like to extend my sincerest apologies to any native speakers of the language who might get offended by my pronunciation of the Russian language, because like I said, I'm not a native speaker. I took some classes in college, and so I'm just some slow boy American that is trying to pick this stuff up. And you know how us Americans are with foreign languages. We don't learn them very easily, and Russian is one of the hardest languages probably for anybody to learn, except for people in the Slavic world. I'll get started just with my text. I'm gonna read from my notes. My college textbook of Mezhdu Nami, and this was my 3rd level Russian book. My first 2 levels was a different series, a different book series. I'll try and elucidate a few things along the way as I go. So I'm going to start on a spot that most Russian language teachers would probably say is the worst place to start. And that's because the very first example contains a verb of motion, which in Russian is not a beginner level concept. Verbs of motion are difficult in Russian. As anybody who's ever learned Russian from a foreign perspective can attest, the idea behind this exercise is that it gives you a list of sentences, and as a student, you're supposed to figure out what they mean and in what order they are, because they're all out of order, and you have to put them in order, and you number them. And the reference for this exercise is an audio clip through SoundCloud that is on the Mezhdu Nami website. And so you're supposed to listen very closely, and it gets you attuned to the idea of listening And so you're supposed to listen out for the sentences because there's a lot of stuff in between. And you have to listen for the prompts. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to translate each sentence. There's only like 9 of these, but we'll take our time going through them. And so the first one that's written out here is Amanda pashla v universitet. Okay? Amanda pashla v universitet. And what does that mean? It means Amanda walked to the university. Amanda is the subject, which always takes the nominative case. And cases are important in Russian. You have to account for them, or your sentences will not make sense. All adjectives and nouns decline according to what role is being played by the noun. In this case, Amanda is acting upon the university. She's walking to it. Pashla is a past tense feminine form of paiti. So again, pashla is a past tense feminine form of paiti, a verb of motion. And if you know anything about Russian verbs, you can already hear the irregularity. If you're familiar with Russian verbs, you can already sense the irregularity there between paiti and pashla, which means to go by foot. The masculine form would be pasho, as in pashil dosht, which means it started raining. Pashil dosht. It's kind of a hard one to say for an American tongue. Another example with the same verb is Paiditya samnoi. Paiditya samnoi, which means come with me. Paiditya samnoi. So in this case, v universitet means to the university. At first glance, with a rudimentary familiarity with the cases, v usually signifies the prepositional case. But in this particular case, it is to the university. Okay? V universitet. So it's not in the university would be v universitete. So the ending there, etie, gives you that prepositional case. But as we see v universitet, it means to the university. So it's not at the university or in the university, it's to the university. V universitet. So the next one here, Amanda prachitala staici. Amanda prachitala staici. And what does that mean? It means Amanda read articles. Amanda prachitala staici. Amanda read articles. So here the verb prachitala is perfective, meaning the action is completed. It's actually a compound sentence, and that's only the first part. So the entire sentence is Amanda prachitala staici и написала план презентации. So again, Amanda прочитала статьи и написала план презентации. And that means Amanda read articles and wrote the outline for her presentation. Again, написала is perfective, meaning the outline is completed. Okay, so the next one. Amanda сказала преподавателю. Amanda сказала преподавателю means Amanda told the professor. Amanda сказала преподавателю. Amanda told the professor. Что не принесла презентацию. Что не принесла презентацию. Что не принесла презентацию. Что не принесла презентацию. So the whole sentence is Amanda сказала преподавателю, что не принесла презентацию. And that means Amanda told the professor that she didn't bring the presentation. Amanda сказала преподавателю, что не принесла презентацию. Amanda сказала преподавателю, что не принесла презентацию. And that means Amanda told the professor that she didn't bring the presentation. Сказала is past tense feminine of сказать. So the pattern here is we're dealing with perfective forms of verbs. Сказать is the perfective form of говорить, to speak, and that's an irregular verb. Преподаватель is a male teacher or professor. In this case, it's dative. Преподавателю. She said to the professor, so that's why it's dative. The to, in this case, is omitted, but the ending you at the end of преподаватель gives you the indication that it's dative. She said to the professor. Amanda сказала преподавателю. See how complex the cases can be? Well, it gets a lot worse. На семинаре. And that means at the seminar. Here is the prepositional case. На семинаре. And you get the ye at the end, which is prepositional. На семинаре. Она поняла. Means she realized. Она поняла. She realized. Что на флешке? Что на флешке? Means that on the flash drive. Что на флешке? On the flash drive. Презентации нет. Means was not the presentation, or the presentation was not there. Презентации нет. Presentation was not there. Презентации takes the genitive because of the negative form of to be present. At the seminar, she realized the presentation was not on the flash drive. На семинаре она поняла, что на флешке презентации нет. Again. На семинаре она поняла, что на флешке презентации нет. Okay, so at the seminar, she realized that on the flash drive was no presentation. At the seminar, she realized the presentation was not on the flash drive. So here the Russian construction of the sentence is very different than English. At the seminar, she realized, okay, that part's fine, that on the flash drive, presentation not. It's kind of the literal translation that you're seeing here. That on the flash drive, presentation not. На семинаре она пошла, что на флешке презентации нет. На семинаре она поняла, что на флешке презентации нет. So what we're getting there is презентация in the genitive. The negative form of to be present. So what we're getting there is презентация in the genitive because of the negative construction of for it to be present. So it's not present, so it's in the genitive. There is none of presentation. Presentation was not there. Is implied by the negative genitive. Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. And what does that mean? Amanda began to prepare the presentation on Saturday. Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. Amanda began to prepare the presentation on Saturday. Начала готовить. That's two consecutive verbs. Began to prepare. Two consecutive verbs. Okay, so in this case, начать is perfective, but готовить is imperfective. Began is a completed action. Preparing is not a completed action. Began is a completed action, but preparing is not. Готовить презентацию. Готовить презентацию is to prepare the presentation. Готовить презентацию is to prepare the presentation. Готовить презентацию. Notice in Russian, the definite article is omitted. This is universal. There are no definite or indefinite articles in Russian. The noun stands on its own. So the car, a bike, they don't use that. It's unnecessary. And in case you didn't notice, all of these examples are out of order. We already talked about that. We'll put them back in order later. The purpose of the exercise is to know the narrative according to the recorded portion and put the sentences in order, which we haven't done. So, готовить презентацию, to prepare, готовить, to prepare. Presentation is accusative. It receives the action. Презентация is feminine. So, since презентация, a feminine noun, takes the accusative, it gets the U ending. Готовить презентацию. Now, в субботу, on Saturday. Again, the v, but not with the prepositional case, with the accusative case. В субботу, on Saturday. Во вторник is on Tuesday. Во вторник is on Tuesday. В 2 часа, at 2 o'clock. В 2 часа, 2 o'clock. Она написала means she wrote, and that's perfective. And so she finished writing. Она написала, she finished writing. Последнюю фразу. Последнюю фразу. Последнюю. Последнюю фразу means the final sentence or the final phrase, and that's the accusative case. Последнюю фразу. Она написала фразу means she wrote the sentence. Во вторник в 2 часа она написала последнюю фразу. That means on Tuesday at 2 o'clock she finished writing the final sentence. Во вторник в 2 часа она написала последнюю фразу. Okay? On Tuesday at 2 o'clock she finished writing the final phrase. Во вторник в 2 часа она написала последнюю фразу. Она написала фразу. The next one is simple. It's only 2 words. Позвонил Женя. Means Женя called. Who's Женя? Sounds like it could be a woman's name. It's not. Женя is a guy. Okay? He called on the telephone. Позвонил Женя. So it's actually an inverted construction compared to English. It's all called Женя. Женя called. Called Женя. Called did Женя. В понедельник вечером. В понедельник вечером means on Monday evening. В понедельник вечером. Again, the v is being used in a non-prepositional case. В понедельник вечером. It's actually the instrumental case because you get the ending on вечер. Вечером. On Monday evening. В понедельник вечером. It's almost like saying with the evening. So the ending, the instrumental means you've got something with you. Okay, you're packing. I'm packing the evening. Она начала писать презентацию. She began to write the presentation. Она начала писать презентацию. She began to write the presentation. We already went through that construction, but it happens again. It comes up again. Сохранила файл. Save the file. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Не на флешке. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. It means Amanda saved the file, not on the flash drive. It could mean Amanda didn't save the file on the flash drive, but the way it's constructed, it actually says Amanda saved the file, but not on the flash drive. The word but isn't in there, but the truth is, she did save the file. She just didn't save it to the flash drive. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Sorry about my pronunciation on that. I know that's got to be really bad pronunciation. Сохранила файл. In this case, file is a cognate, which is a word that sounds the same in English. And you find this a lot in pop culture and in computer science in this particular case. File is just file. Okay, they say file just like we say file. And you'd be surprised how many cognates you find learning foreign languages. A lot of times, English has a way of influencing other languages as well. And a lot of times, the cognates that you get are through Latin. I don't know. In this case, I think it's just American English. Amanda сохранила файл. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Okay, so that's my American accent coming through, because I know it sounds a lot smoother when Russian people say it. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. The word file in this case is accusative, but the form is unchanged because it's inanimate masculine. So the accusative inanimate masculine takes the same form as the nominative case. The nominative case is the default case. That's your subject. Не на флешке means not on the flash drive. Amanda saved the file not on the flash drive. Now we can put the sentences in order. Okay, so number 1. Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. Amanda began to prepare the presentation on Saturday. Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. Okay, and so that means Amanda began to prepare the presentation on Saturday. Again, number 1 is Amanda начала готовить презентацию в субботу. Okay, number 2. Amanda прочитала статьи и написала план презентации. Amanda прочитала статьи и написала план презентации. Amanda прочитала статьи и написала план презентации. Amanda read articles and wrote the outline of her presentation. Amanda прочитала статьи и написала план презентации. Okay, number 3. В понедельник вечером она начала писать презентацию. And what does that mean? On Monday evening, she began to write the presentation. On Monday evening, she began to write the presentation. В понедельник вечером она начала писать презентацию. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4. Во вторник в 2 часа она написала последнюю фразу. And that means on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, she wrote the last sentence. Again, во вторник в 2 часа она написала последнюю фразу. On Tuesday at 2 o'clock, she wrote the last sentence. Okay, so number 5. Позвонил Женя means Женя called. Позвонил Женя. Женя called. Женя is her boyfriend. Here's the one that I have a hard time pronouncing because I'm an American slow boy. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Means Amanda saved the file, but not on the flash drive. Amanda saved the file, but not on the flash drive. Amanda сохранила файл не на флешке. Number 7. Amanda пошла в университет. Amanda пошла в университет means Amanda walked to the university. Or you could say Amanda went to the university. Пошла means she went on foot. Amanda пошла в университет. На семинаре она поняла, что на флешке презентации нет. На семинаре она поняла, что на флешке презентации нет. Means at the seminar, she realized that the presentation was not on the flash drive. At the seminar, she realized that the presentation was not on the flash drive. На семинаре она поняла, что на флешке презентации нет. Number 9. Amanda сказала преподавателю, что не принесла презентацию. So that means Amanda told the professor that she didn't bring the presentation. Amanda сказала преподавателю, что не принесла презентацию. Amanda told the professor that she didn't bring the presentation. Okay, so that's it. I hope you got something out of this. And I'm going to be using these to review my notes. And hopefully you can benefit from it too.